Hello everyone, this is Lincoln's Prime, and while I can safely say that the NECA Godzilla series I made a while ago is dead in the water, it has probably been reincarnated. And it's bigger, badder, and a hell of a lot better. And today we are taking a look at the Hiya Toys Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla. And before we look at the figure, I would like to take a look at this beautiful packaging. We do have Godzilla on the front, the Monsterverse logo, and Monsterverse and Godzilla at the base. Hiya Toys logo right there. And we do have Godzilla vs. Kong at the top. This is part of the Exquisite basic line of figures. Hiya Toys does do statues, but they also do figures, so that is pretty cool. We do have another picture of the Godzilla figure on the side, and a bunch of, the legendary Toho and Monsterverse logos, because this is a licensed figure. Godzilla vs. Kong on the back, we have words and things that I don't feel like reading and words that I can't read, and we have more Godzilla vs. Kong, Exquisite, basic, blah blah blah. Another picture of Godzilla on the side. Not a really cool picture of Godzilla vs. Kong on the bottom, and I guess a certification sticker, which is pretty cool, and a Godzilla vs. Kong on the top. So that is pretty much about it for the packaging. And straight out of the box, here we have the love child of NECA and SH Monster Arts, the Hiya Toys Godzilla, and this figure is perfection. Also, if you notice I sound off, yes, I am sick. No, it's not COVID, I had that 2 weeks ago. Let's just say nature doesn't exactly favor my immune system, so... But anyways, this figure is absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing negative I have to say about it, and that says something. The overall feel of the figure is very nice, and it is big. This is a very big figure. It is 8 inches, so it's gonna be kind of hefty. But I do wanna talk about the material this is made of, because it is a very similar feeling material to a NECA figure. Like, it has that same durability, that same kind of sturdiness to it, and it really reminds me of NECA, and I kind of have the feeling that whoever designed this figure, or whoever made it, was probably a former, designer for the NECA Godzilla figures, because I don't know, this seems too similar to a NECA figure. But the other thing is the articulation is a lot different from NECA. There are some similar aspects of the articulation that you can compare to a NECA figure, but there's some similar aspects to the articulation that you can compare with an SH Monster Arts figure. First, let us talk about the detail, and the detail, oh my, looks so good. Just the way that everything is sculpted and painted is absolutely perfect. Nice rough textures. The dorsal fins, they are kind of rubbery, except the middle row is actually pretty hard, and so you could probably hurt someone with just the middle row by itself, but everything else is just so good. But there's the detail, the paint, like the paintwork they did such a good job on. I do have a little tiny speck of paint right here, but not a huge deal. But it's so good. I love the way that this figure feels. I love the way that it looks. But all that sculpted detail, like just the scales and all that kind of stuff, is just beautifully sculpted. All the paint with the dry brushing, kind of the browns and the charcoal grays and blacks, just looks so good on this figure. And yeah, it's just perfect. Maybe I did lie. There are a few things that I'm not the biggest fan of this figure about, but it's not huge. Not too big on the way that the neck works. Then again, it's not too bad. It's adjustable, so as long as you can work it to your advantage, then it's fine. But a lot of people complain about the little pin joint in the jaw, but you know what? I don't care. I don't really care. You could just have it look from the other angle, but you could still have it look from this angle, and it would still look good. And but not really many complaints in terms of that. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, just man, this is a really good figure. In terms of the detail with the head, the eyes, I can't really tell if the eyes are painted well or not. I mean, one thing I can notice is that the little pupil is actually painted black, and then it has like some white shine over it. So props to the people that did this. It's actually, now that I'm looking at it, yeah, the eyes are perfectly centered. So that's good. That is great. The teeth, I mean, I don't know, the teeth are, your basic Godzilla teeth. They're not white or anything, so they're going to have that kind of weird brownish gray tone to them. But they are sharp. They are very sharp. And the inside of the mouth detail, too, is sculpted to perfection. It just looks so good. Even, like, they even painted underneath the tongue. So that's cool, because, well, yeah, spoiler for articulation there, sorry about that, but the tongue is articulated. But yeah, just so much beautiful paintwork and sculpting on this figure. You just cannot go wrong with this guy. That has been bothering me about this figure is this little dorsal plate right here, mainly just these two, just the way that they're bent in. I just wish that they were a little bit more centered, but that's just, that's a boxing mishap. When it's in a package for a long time, it's going to get a little bit warped, but not a huge deal. Anyways, let's talk about the articulation. Basically, we do have, the jaw can open about that much. That is pretty good, and the tongue is articulated. You just kind of have to wedged in there, and there we go. That looks really good, especially if you want to do like a roaring pose, so that is cool. The head is on a ball joint right here, and I believe it runs through, it's just one dumbbell ball joint that just runs from here to here. But the head can look side to side pretty decently. It can look up about that much and down about that much. And like I said, so with these little segments right here, they are adjustable, so you can adjust them to however you want them to look, essentially. Because yeah, they are gonna get kind of fiddly, but as long as you can get it in a good pose and get it to like stay there, they're good in place. So that is good. But the head can rotate on all of these little sections, and maybe the segmenting here is actually a good thing, because you can allow for some rotation, and that actually looks pretty natural. So that always appreciated. But yeah, you can look up about that far, not too much though, but not too bad, not as bad as like a NECA figure. NECA figures cannot look up very well. But yeah, so articulation in the head is pretty decent. Then we do have articulation in here, and I feel like this can rotate more. I just don't want to break it. But it can lean side to side pretty decently. It can go down that much and back that much. Not too much range in there, but it's decent enough. The arms can rotate all the way around, so that's pretty cool. There is a swivel in the elbow. The arms can move out about that much and in about that much, and then there is a slight bend at the elbow. Not too great, but not too bad. So that is pretty good. And the hands can rotate and move up and down and side to side. They are on a ball joint on the inside, so that is pretty cool. With the legs can they can rotate all the way around as well, so that's pretty cool. Legs can split about that much, go in about that much, and there is a double joint in here. This is the part that reminds people of SH Monsters, especially just with the way that it's kind of split, because you have the little knee joint right here, and the legs can move out about that much and in about that much. And I don't know if they can swivel pretty decently, so that's pretty cool. And finally, the foot can pivot pretty decently and swivel as well, so that is very nice. And then the tail is your basic kind of tail. This is very much a NECA style tail. In fact, I'm very sure that this is the same exact tail as the 2019 NECA figure, just blown up to a slightly bigger scale, because yeah, this is a very similar tail sculpt to that NECA figure, but it can move up, down, has very good range in my opinion, and ball joints, so you do have rotation in all of those little segments. So yeah, that is very nice. Articulation on this figure is outstanding, and you can get this figure in a lot of cool poses. And for comparison, here we have the Hiya Toys Godzilla next to the NECA 2014 Godzilla, and I think that these two actually fit into scale with each other, which is pretty cool. But you can see like some slight similarities with these. I mean, like, obviously this one's a bit more shiny, but it does have some flatness to it, kind of like this one, because this is the reissue. But in terms of like material, they are very similar. And in terms of just like kind of just the way that they like feel and articulate, there are some similarities between these. So it does kind of make me think, what if like whoever designed some of the NECA figures helped Hiya Toys design their Godzilla figures? But that just makes me think. And then as well as a comparison with the SH Monster Arts 2021 Godzilla, and there's some color similarities between these two, mainly with like the skin tones. That's really about it. But yeah, I prefer the Hiya figure. I 100% prefer this guy over this. And while I don't hate this figure, this is just a better option. It's cheaper, and you get a little bit more bang for your buck. And while this one does come with accessories, the accessories it comes with are only a pair of hands, and that's it. This doesn't come with anything, but actually I'm fine with that. So, you know, between these two, I prefer this, but yeah, that's just a comparison between the other Godzilla figures that we've gotten. Some other comparisons here we have them next to the Bandai Vinyl 2019 Godzilla and the Playmates Godzilla 2021. And for the hell of it, a Transformer, here we have the Voyager class Legacy Leo Convoy. Oh, what's that? Teaser for my next review? And for my final comments on this figure, I love it. I think this is definitely one of the best Godzilla figures that we have, and with NECA having lost the license back in 2020, and you know, losing the alternative for a fully articulated Godzilla figure at a affordable price, this is probably our best bet for now. It does go for about $50 to $60 depending on where you find it, but I would say that that's worth it, considering that, you know, SH Monster Arts is more like kidney prices. But in terms of like, you know, sculpt, posability, paint, and all that kind of stuff, you're getting a lot for just, you know, about $50 to $60. Even though you don't get accessories, which I'm completely fine with, this is definitely a really good alternative if you just want a Godzilla figure that is good with posability, and is somewhat easy to find. However, by the time I'm filming this, this figure is actually not easy to find. Believe it or not, I actually didn't find this figure for $50. I found it on AliExpress for over $100. Yeah. By the time I wanted to pick this figure up, it was too late. It was out of stock on Big Bad Toy Store, and for some reason it completely disappeared from the Hiya Toys website. I don't know what happened. All I can say is guys, just please make this figure more readily available. I know you still have the license to Godzilla. There's no way you lost it. Just make more of these, please, because like a lot of people lost out on the chance to get one. So just please make this more available. It's a great figure, and I think a lot of people deserve it, especially because Godzilla merchandise is really hard to find at a affordable price. So yeah, I think just make your stuff a little more readily available. But overall, it's a great figure, and we also did get leaks for the Ghidorah figure that we're getting from Hiya Toys, and it looks phenomenal. Now, in terms of the other figures, I really do want to pick them up. I just, you know, money's a thing. And while they are more affordable, they're still not cheap. So I might get the Kong figure. I really do, because I would rather have that one with more accessories over the Dead Inside figure that we got from Bandai. So yeah, definitely better alternatives when it comes to Hiya. The Rodan and Mothra figures look great, so I definitely want to pick those up. But that Ghidorah, man, is going to look really, really good next to this figure, so yeah. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's really about it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.